So let's move on to the Thursday night football matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers. It's in Chandler. Arizona. We're going to start on the Packers side of the ball. We got the Green Bay Packers are the dogs in this one. The Cardinals are favored by 6.5 points, over under of 50.5 points. We'll start with Aaron Rodgers. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is a safe start this week? Because you don't have Davante Adams as a weapon. Does that change your opinion?
I mean, to me, in my opinion, it does. You got no Davante Adams due to the COVID related issue, and no Allen Lazard now either. So, obviously, I would say majority of Aaron Rodgers' production comes through Davante Adams.
Totally.
I'm not really too worried about Allen Lazard, but obviously he's a big body receiver that you can use in the red zone and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, to some degree you have to downgrade Aaron Rodgers here. I mean, I'm going to throw some names out here and tell me what you think, because if I could pivot from Aaron Rodgers, I think I would.
Okay, sure.
Just because I don't see the upside. I think I'll still get you a safe floor, but I don't see the upside here, and then I'll tell you why afterwards. But Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is home against the Dallas Cowboys.
I might go Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm going to go
the upside with all the weapons.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kirk Cousins.
Justin Jefferson has a great matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers. Joe Burrow's against the Jets.
Might go Joe Burrow.
I'm going to go Joe Burrow on there too. You got Aaron Rodgers or Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is home against the Titans.
The pass rush has been not actually, if you watch some of these Titans games, I might go Aaron Rodgers on that one.
Yeah, that one's kind of
close. The pass rush
close.
actually has not been that bad in the past couple games with the Titans. So
see, the thing with Wentz and Rodgers is we kind of touched on it. Like Wentz, I think it was he's only had 2 games of 250 or more yards, and he gets you 2 touchdowns, but that's about it. So I mean, I think Rodgers could do that. I think Rodgers could get at least 250 and 2. So the floor, or the ceiling, I guess, for Wentz is kind of, I think Rodgers could get that, and then Rodgers could actually surpass that. So I'd probably go on Rodgers on that one right there. What about Trevor Lawrence? This is getting cute now, I guess. Lawrence.
I like that one.
Trevor Lawrence at Seattle or Aaron Rodgers?
I like Trevor Lawrence. He's one of my starts this week for stream. Yeah.
So I like Trevor Lawrence. I'll go Rodgers there. Just traveling from Jacksonville all the way to north up in Seattle. That's a far flight for a team. So I think I'm going Rodgers right there. But
I don't know.
So it just kind of shows you where we're gauging. We're gauging Rodgers on this one right here. So, and another reason why I'm probably not starting Rodgers if I can. If you want to hit the next slide, we can talk about the running backs.
We got Aaron Jones.
I mean, obviously you're starting Aaron Jones
because you have to. He's a must start.
Yeah, definitely.
But
yeah, the reason why I'm kind of shying away from Aaron Rodgers if I can is because, and I know the matchup might not look good on paper. Mike, we were talking about it off air. You were saying they've only been scored 3 touchdowns on all season.
0 rushing touchdowns.
0 by a running back. So 3 rushing touchdowns total, but 0 by a running back.
Right.
But they're giving up 5 yards per carry. So this is just my opinion. And if I was a coach, Kyler Murray, that Cardinals offense, pretty electric, one of the best in the league. I'm down Davante Adams. I'm down Allen Lazard. I'm down, David Bakhtiari's out, I believe. So it's like, what do I want to do? If the opposing team's going to give up 5 yards per carry, I have this guy named Aaron Jones that I paid a
decent
quote-unquote an F-ton amount of money to. Try not to cuss.
I know.
An F-ton amount of money to. And then I also drafted this guy who's got ginormous quads named A.J. Dillon. So my game plan is I'm just running the ball down their throat.
So you're
thinking 5 yards to carry.
They try and get up ahead and then just run the clock.
Not even get up ahead quick. It's just you control the clock. You just ground and pound the whole game. You keep Kyler Murray on the sideline.
It's called time of possession.
And you just time of possession. So that's kind of one reason why I'd be fading Aaron Rodgers. And like I said, it's just my opinion. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is when you're doing these fantasy football breakdowns. But I'm thinking we see a big game from Aaron Jones. Definitely dialing him up. Which in return, if they're running the ball so much, with the lack of weapons and the amount of the running they will do, would hurt Aaron Rodgers' value for the week. So, yeah, you're definitely starting Aaron Jones. With that being said, if my theory is correct, are you taking a shot on A.J. Dillon?
I'm good.
Or would you rather headbutt a knife?
I might want to headbutt a knife. I mean, there's No, I'm not. I put myself in situations in most of my fantasy leagues where I'm not pivoting to AJ Dillon. I understand maybe you would want to, but I just don't see enough for me to do it. I can't do it. Sorry.
I mean, it sounds gross, like you said. He had some decent games. Week 4 against Pittsburgh got you 10. Week 15 against the Bengals got you 16.
Is that PPR?
I think it was PPR, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, full point PPR. I try and look at stuff based on.
Oh, half point PPR, sorry.
Okay, that's not bad
yeah,
then.
So. But I mean, it got you 15 carries one game, 11 carries the other game.
You want to hear why?
Why?
I know this is different because Adams and what's his name are out, Lazard. But, I mean, look at these snap percentages for AJ Dillon. 28, 29, 29, 40 is almost the highest. 33, 42, 23%. Yeah. I'm okay on that.
For sure. I'm just seeing what your opinion on that.
Yeah.
This is a deep sleeper.
I'm gonna pass on that one. So if you're in an 8-man league, don't play AJ Dillon. Shout out.
Sure. I was just curious what you were thinking there. I wouldn't be surprised though if he came out and had a good game. He'd be a sneaky good DFS play.
Yeah, so. I would say maybe in that would be.
Maybe when we get to some prop bets later, we'll
maybe
talk about it
in those prop picks.
Prop picks, my bad.
Yeah, you good. Hello there. Hey, listen, right now, I know we talk about them a lot, but Underdog Fantasy, it has a really good deal right now. It's a player pick'em app. It's a DFS app. It's very similar to DraftKings or FanDuel, but this is better. It's brand new, very easy to use interface. But if you download the app right now and use promo code AVG, they used to hook up with $10 with your first deposit. Right now, they're matching you up to $100. So if you put $100 in the app right now on your first deposit, you will get an extra $100 to play around with. They got player pick'ems. You can even do a private match inside Underdog Fantasy. It's pretty dope. So you can challenge people and whatnot. You don't have to maintain a team for all year. So you can just draft your team, play that week, draft the next team next week. You could do it daily in a Thursday night game as well. So go check it out. Tons of prizes. Free $100. Come on, sign up. It's the best. And use promo code AVG. Now back to your video. So we got, we'll move into the wide receiver position. Sorry, I put this one first. I probably should have put MVS first, but I got Randall Cobb, the wide receiver with blue eyes. You ever seen Randall Cobb? He's got the craziest looking eyes. But anyways.
Are you trying to go on a date with him or what?
No, and anytime you mention any other guy's eyes, it definitely sounds like that. But Randall Cobb's had some good games, and I think with the people out, Randall Cobb, MVS is obviously coming back, but I don't know. I might trust Randall Cobb a little bit more than MVS. Is that crazy or no?
PPR, not at all. I mean, if there's one receiver here I'm starting, it's probably gonna be Randall Cobb. We'll touch on MVS in a second, but if I'm starting one, it's gonna be Randall Cobb. I mean, the targets just haven't been there all season. I mean, he's had one game over, where he's had 6 targets. That game he had 5 catches, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Had a crazy monster game. Outside of that, he hasn't done much at all. But, the opportunity is going to be there. There's, like I said, no Davante Adams, no Allen Lazard. MVS may or may not play from he's coming off an IR. He hasn't practiced all week either. So that means that, obviously it's a short week. So you kind of just do a walkthrough and maybe you get one good practice in. But, I mean, MVS hasn't practiced in the last 3-4 weeks or whatever it is due to the hamstring injury, I think it is. So, who's the guy that's been out there every single week? Who's Aaron Rodgers' boy? It's not MVS, I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, if I love Randall Cobb this week, you just need a flex option, a third wide receiver, whatever it is. Sign me up because, if he's got to throw the ball to somebody, I do think Aaron Jones gets heavily utilized in the passing game in this game. But he's got to throw the ball to somebody. Yeah, I think Randall Cobb could see, 5-6 receptions for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he's what would you say, wide receiver 3 flex play for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're starting any of these guys on Thursday night, make sure you put them in the actual position. So if you have a Randall Cobb, and don't play him in your flex because then you can't pivot later to running back or wide receiver. It's always good to kind of put those guys in the actual position if you're starting them on Thursday night. So later on you can pivot to your entire bench. But yeah, Randall Cobb, it's flex play, wide receiver 3 kind of move. But don't put him in your flex.
I like it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's move on to
like
MVS. Sorry, I was very delayed on that one. Marquez, Valdez, Scantling. We just talked about it. Hasn't played since week 3, week 4. It's been a while. That being said, I think like you're saying, he's kind of barely coming back. I think they might need to use him. I'm saying there might be targets there, but I'm not that excited about it. Honestly, since the MVS show has been a thing, I've never really been too excited about it. He's had times where he's proven me wrong on that, but I'm okay on this one.
I mean, yeah, this is a gamble. Like how frisky do you feel? Like I said, I mean, the guy hasn't practiced in several weeks. He hasn't practiced at all this week. He's still on IR technically. I think he's a game time decision, so he could be activated after there. The thing with MVS though is that he could literally have one catch for 73 yards and a touchdown, and that can make your day off one target.
Right.
So, that's the kind of guy. That's what I'm saying. Like, how frisky do you feel? How lucky do you feel? Because you're taking a shot. You're swinging for the fences here. You're either going to strike out or you're going to hit a home run. So, I mean, I would like to hope that you don't need to use a guy like MVS. But yeah, that's just kind of my opinion. You're swinging for the fences here.
I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not confidently going out and telling everybody listening to this right now, go start MVS.
No, I agree.
That's what I'm not going to do. You know what I mean?
So,
but I'm with you. It is like, high upside. If you want to take the risk, go for it. But when it comes down to it, we can tell you whatever we want, but you're going to do what you want to do, and that's fine. But just don't be upset if it's a dud game.
Yeah. I mean, he could be like on a pitch count. He could come out and maybe only play 40, 50% of the snaps, where Randall Cobb on the flip side is probably going to play 80, 90% of the snaps. So, yeah, give me the guy who's going to be on the field more.
Yeah.
Especially in a PPR league, I think Randall Cobb's value is even more so.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's go on to the tight end position, Robert Tonyan. So we talked about this guy on the waiver wire episode earlier this week. We said Robert Tonyan, you're going to want to go grab him. Maybe don't get too excited about it in this matchup. We look kind of deeper into the stats on Robert Tonyan, and it kind of tells a somewhat of a different story. I'll let you go ahead and go from there.
Yes, I mean, last week he was a sit for us. He comes out, gets you 4 catches on 5 targets for 63 yards and a touchdown. So he puts up a good game. It's actually his best game of the season. So, yeah, we say sit him, and he's like, hey, hold my beer. Let me come out and show these guys with their 1,300 subscribers. But, yeah, I mean,
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing.
Yeah.
For sure. But, I wasn't really sold on it, because prior to that, he's had 5 games with 10 or few receiving yards. So, yeah, he came out and had a big game last week, but I wasn't sold on it going forward. But things are changing. The times are changing.
It's the inconsistency for me.
Yeah. But the things that are changing for me is that there's no Davante Adams and there's no Alan Lazard. So, he's got to throw the ball to somebody. And, like I said, we don't even know if MVS is healthy, if he's going to play. Obviously, Randall Cobb's a guy who's going to get incorporated. Aaron Jones, I'm sure A.J. Dillon will probably get a couple catches out of the backfield as well. But, yeah, I would be going back to the well with Robert Tonyan in this one. So if you had him, you started him last week, I'd be banking on back-to-back good games from him this week. And I know the matchup doesn't look good on paper, and if you look at it, you could be like, well, Arizona's really tough against tight ends. Like, they don't give up points to tight ends.
Yeah, because if you look at the stats, it's like they're literally the best. Allowed 156 yards to tight ends on the season, 0 touchdowns, 2.2 fantasy points per game to the tight end position. So you're like sitting here going, oh, shit, I shouldn't play Robert Tonyan.
Yeah.
But then what?
But then you look at the teams they played and, like, the tight ends those teams have. So week 1 against the Titans, no tight end.
Yeah. Well, Frisker?
Week 2 against the Vikings, I'm not really worried about that. Week 3 against the Jags, nobody. Week 4 against the Rams. You got Higbee there, but we're not really big on Higbee, at least on this podcast. So I'm not really worried about him. Week 5 against the 49ers, Kittle was on IR. Week 6 against the Browns with,
Well, I hope it's like,
you
got tight ends there, but it's like.
That's
a running team.
That one's probably the best tight ends they faced. And then last week against the Texans, I believe it was.
It's like who you starting
who
there.
was on the Texans.
So if you look at those, some of these stats they're manipulated. You You can move these stats around to say whatever you want, to paint whatever picture you want. But in this situation, if you look deeper into it, it might actually be because they haven't played a tight end in any of their games.
Yeah, so no real tight end threats in those games they've played. Tonyan's kind of last man standing for the pass catchers, and he's a good red zone threat. So when they get in close, Big Bob Tonyan or whatever, or Baby Kittle, whatever they call him, he's a good red zone threat for Rodgers there. So yeah, if I had him, I'd be starting him this week.
Yeah. So, by the way, with the I know. Okay. The Cardinals have, for the running backs, though, I will say, they did kind of shut up Derrick Henry in week 1 for the running backs. Sorry, yeah. I wish I would have mentioned that earlier.
But week 1, sometimes I feel like it's different because you've been preparing for that team for a month. When you have a month to prepare for a team, you can really game plan against that team. Yeah, totally. You know, right. Compared to like this is a short week.
Sure.
You know, you've had 3 days. They've had 3 days to prepare for the Packers.
Okay, I feel you. Packers defense. We said to play him last week.
They're good.
Are we going to tell you to play him this week?
Negative.
That's a negative, dude. Cardinals are 7-0. Cardinals have one of the most crazy offenses in the league. Kyler Murray's insane. I am not starting the Green Bay Packers defense in this game. I'm probably going to take the over in this game if I'm going to, because the line keeps moving down. You got to bet against the public. I like the over, which is 15.5 points. Hey, did you like that video? No, not the one of Big Ben completely eating shit when nobody even touched him. I'm talking about our fantasy football video we just did. You just watched. Well, guess what? That was just a clip from the full audio podcast. So if you want to check out the whole thing, links down below. AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, all of them. Anywhere you can get audio podcasts, we're there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you don't want to look at your fantasy team to look the way Big Ben does right here, wait for it. Come on, replay. This is your fantasy team. But that won't be your fantasy team if you subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football. So go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and like.